So one of the questions we regularly get asked is, how do I achieve my Advanced Powerboat Certificate of Competence? What does it include? What's the exam process like? What standard do I need to be at to go into that qualification or to head towards that examination? In this video we'll just have a quick chat through what level you need to be at, what the training process involves, and equally in a separate video we'll look at the examination process in a little bit more detail to give you a bit of a flavour as to how an examiner may actually approach that with you. So the Advanced Certificate of Competence is an exam, so you're examined by an RWA Advanced Powerboat examiner appointed by the RWA for that purpose, and the examiner is there to assess that you reach the standard that the RWA determine is appropriate for that level of qualification, and that's going to allow you to take up to 12 passengers, up to 20 miles from a safe haven, day or night potentially, and whether you're allowed to do that depends on the boat and the particular situation, but that's what the qualification allows you to do. And that's a high level qualification. Being totally responsible for 12 people is a big responsibility, so therefore there's a need to appreciate that's a high standard to reach. Let's look first though at the level you need to be at. So the key guide to that, there's two key things. The RWA Powerboat logbook, that goes into detail about the level you need to be at. And the RWA website has that same information. Obviously training schools also have that information on their websites, but if I'm honest, that's not always totally consistent with what the RWA is saying, and it's frankly what the RWA says counts. And what the RWA is saying there is that you need to have a high degree of competence in terms of your boat handling. They talk about intermediate powerboat level. They also talk about you being at the level of yachtmaster theory, and that's the theory level you need to be at. So the RWA put that in writing in the logbook and on their website. So if people are telling you that you need a lower level of theory or a lower level of theory is acceptable, then I disagree, because the level that examiners are examining to is that yachtmaster theory level. So make sure that you pursue that route to get there. So if you're at the moment RWA Powerboat level 2, then you can need to do your day skipper theory and then follow that up in due course with your yachtmaster theory. And that is a significant investment of time and potentially money as well. What you also need is, quite obviously, plenty of time afloat, and you need to be a highly competent powerboater. And I think the way I'd actually look at it is, I need to be able to have you go in, you know, the 7.8 metre ribs that we have, and to be able to put them alongside really any finger berth, any pontoon in this marina or any other marina I take you to in any condition of wind or tide, and be able to get alongside that pontoon safely, competently, and it actually look pretty good as well. Because if you're not at that standard, how are you going to be able to actually drive a powerboat with 12 passengers on and put it alongside competently and safely for them? So I really can't underestimate the level you actually need to be at. You need to be really experienced, and if really you're only ever getting occasional time at the helm, if you're not really getting out there and skippering a boat, then you've got to raise the odd question as, are you actually at the right level? You also need to satisfy the mileage requirements that the RWA have, which is 800 miles, or that's halved if you have the RWA Advanced Powerboat course. Now that might sound initially like a lot of miles, but actually if you're getting out there quite regularly, then it's next to no miles. But the key thing is, it's not about miles, because theoretically I could sort of do 100 miles in one trip, but it's the bits at either end. It's going in and out of ports and harbours, it's navigating into areas that you're slightly unfamiliar with. It's all of those sort of things that give you a good level of understanding as to how to manage a boat, how to navigate a boat, and give you the degree of confidence and competence that are necessary to really feel at one with your boat. Because what you need to do is, you need to really be quite relaxed in that boat, because the examiner is going to give you various exercises and tasks to do. As I say, we'll come back to that in a separate video. But the more relaxed you are about your boating skills, the more relaxed you are about your theory skills, then the easier that's going to become. So if you're progressing from level 2 and your objective is Advanced Powerboat Certificate of Competence exam, let's just take that in stages. So level 2 you've got, and you've gone out there and you've got more boating experience. It may even be that you're working commercially at the level 2 level, with a commercial endorsement on that level 2. Realistically, you're going to do day skipper theory, which is 5 days. You could do that online or in a classroom. You then need to go on and do Yachtmaster Theory. You might think about putting the intermediate powerboat in there as a mechanism to get back out and refresh with an instructor to make sure the skills are operating in the way they should be. And that Yachtmaster Theory course, you could do it online, you could do it in a classroom. I would strongly advise actually doing it in a classroom. People really do benefit from the support an instructor gives in a classroom with the 6-day Yachtmaster Theory course, which is quite full on, quite heavyweight for people to get stuck into. And once you've got that and you're happy that your boat skills are at the level to go into the Advanced Powerboat course, then do the Advanced Powerboat course. You don't have to do it before doing the exam, but what it does is it sort of re-chips you into the way that an RWA examiner is likely to want to see you operate and boat during the examination. So it's a really good preparation for that. So I would say probably 95–98% of people doing their exam will do the Advanced Powerboat course, and quite often an extra day or two's preparation as well, just to really make sure they're absolutely nailing it in terms of what's expected. Once you've got all of that, then you're in a position to go into the Advanced Powerboat exam. We're going to cover that in a little bit more detail in another video, but hopefully this gives you a rough idea as the process to go through. There's plenty more information available on our website, but I do stress, have a look at the RWA website, have a look at the RWA Powerboat logbook, because you know they're absolutely right in terms of the level required. So don't believe me, have a look at the RWA website.